Good news to report to you. Matt Staver is with us from the Liberty Council. I get Matt's alerts, and the latest one from the Liberty Alert is the headline, or at least the one I wanted to have him on to talk about, was dated March 25th, and the headline said, Kansas becomes the third state this year to pass sweeping pro-life laws. And I said, man, that's some good news, so let's talk about it. So joining us is Matt Staver, who is executive. Are you president or executive director?
I'm the founder and chairman, and Anita is president of Liberty Council.
So you're not. So I had it wrong, even though I took two shots at it there. executive director and president. You're founder and chairman. Okay.
He's also dean of the law school and vice president of Liberty University.
Yeah.
So in his spare time, he does stuff for Liberty Council.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, Matt, tell us the good news that you reported on here.
Well, there's really good news because we've got 3 states now, just in 2013, that have passed very pro-life legislation. Arkansas kicked it off, and Arkansas passed a couple of bills in that state, and one of those was the heartbeat bill that actually said that abortions after 12 weeks would be banned. They passed some other legislation as well then. And then what happened was we had the bill in North Dakota. We have 3 bills there that just passed. The personhood bill that will actually say that there's a person and legal rights or legal recognition of you as a person from the moment of fertilization. The people will be able to vote on that in November of 2014. They also have another bill that they passed in North Dakota that says that you cannot have abortions for Down syndrome or other kinds of abnormalities like that. And someone might say, well, wait a minute, wouldn't that be someone's choice to do that? What happens if someone has Down syndrome? Well, there's a lot of people who know a lot of individuals with Down syndrome, and they are absolutely amazing individuals. And, it's not for us to choose the quality of someone's life. The other bill is a heartbeat bill. And that bill then says that there's no abortions after you detect a heartbeat, and that's going to be around 6 weeks. And then finally, the Kansas House of Representatives, they joined Arkansas and North Dakota passing comprehensive pro-life legislation. And what they've done there is they've passed a bill by a vote on the House side, 92-31, that declares that life begins at fertilization. In addition, they exclude abortionists from receiving tax breaks. They prohibit state medical schools, the residents, from having abortion performing training there in the facility, if it's on a state campus, and or if they're pursuing a medical degree through a state university. It also prohibits organizations that perform abortions from teaching sex education classes in the public school, and requires abortionists to notify women of the risk of abortion. So these are major pieces of legislation, Kansas becoming the 3rd state already in 2013 to pass very strong, comprehensive pro-life legislation.
Matt, what are as far as you know, and you may not have your finger on the pulse of Kansas politics, but what are the chances of it passing in the Kansas Senate?
I think it's a good chance to pass in the Kansas Senate from what we know. And this is now in the House. And, of course, when it does pass, and I think we will ultimately see passage of perhaps all of these particular bills in the Kansas legislature. Actually, there's one particular bill that has all this in it. And it's going to go into the governor, which is pro-life, Sam Brownback. He's the one who is now replaced Kathleen Sebelius, who is the current Secretary of the Health and Human Services that's implementing the pro-abortion Obamacare. So a big sea change has happened in the political landscape in Kansas, with Kathleen Sebelius being replaced by a very pro-life former Senator Sam Brownback.
Now, this Kansas bill that prohibits organizations that perform abortions from teaching sex education classes in public school, that obviously would be targeted, I'm guessing, at Planned Parenthood. So any organization under whose umbrella abortions are performed, so they have to make a choice. You either perform abortions in the state of Kansas, or you teach sex education classes. You can't do both. Is that right?
That's right. And Planned Parenthood is going to be a big target of that particular piece of legislation. It'll certainly apply to anyone else that does that. But you have to understand the big sea change that's happened in Kansas. This is Kansas that had Kathleen Sebelius as the governor. It's the same state that had Dr. Tiller, nicknamed Tiller the Killer, because he had late-term abortions. He's the one who was actually shot and killed several years ago. But he was the one who basically promoted this very late-term abortion in Kansas. And it's also a place where there was almost the epicenter of Planned Parenthood, because there was this synergy between the governor, Kathleen Sebelius, Dr. Tiller, and Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood and Dr. Tiller had been invited to the governor's mansion when Kathleen Sebelius was governor. So there's been a huge change in the landscape to have this kind of legislation now coming through the Kansas legislature.
Talking to Matt Staver. Oh, Matt, where can people read about this?
Well, they can go to our website, Liberty Council's website, lc.org, and we also have a website that we've launched called lifeunited.org. lifeunited.org, and that's in conjunction with several pro-life organizations, including Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar of the very popular TV series or the reality show called 19 Kids and Counting. They are part of that as well. So either lc.org or lifeunited.org, and they can read more information about this and other kinds of new developments that will happen in 2012 on pro-life issues.
Thank you, Matt. Appreciate it.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Okay, Matt Staver from the Liberty Council. Good news there that Matt shared from several states.